Hey guys, this is Nitesh. We're here with The Deed. Now this is honestly a game that I was meaning to play a bit ages ago. Apparently it's really short, so it's not going to be a problem with the other stuff I have going on. Anyway, how about we get started? Pilgrim Adventures. Okay, so F1 game options, escape menu, inventory, enter, proceed. Okay, sure, let's play the intro. Z does it too, apparently. Scotland, November 1945. Oh god, my Scottish accent is awful. I think I'm gonna have to just default to British. I don't think I can actually do a Scottish accent. My name is Aaron Bruce, son of Malcolm Bruce and rightful heir to Dunshield House. I have recently discovered that my tyrant of a father intends to disinherit me in favor of my deranged younger sister. My relationship with my family is strained, to say the least. I have decided that the time has come for my sister to be removed from this ghastly equation. I intend to put her out of her misery. Unfortunately, my sister never leaves the confines of Dunshield House, which makes the matter more complicated. I have not visited the family home in quite some time. Can't bear to be in that hellhole for long. However, my presence on the night of my father's 50th birthday will cause no suspicion. I must choose the timing and method of the deed very carefully. Tonight is the night. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. That ended up sounding way too Australian. Oh, bloody hell, George. She has been responsible for maintaining the gardens. Used to be Big Jack Willis, sir. He's been dead almost a year now. I'll do a little here and there. Can't do much on account of my bad back, though. My sister hasn't offered to help you, then? Miss Jennifer isn't really the outdoor type, sir. I know, George, it was a joke. Very funny, sir. Let's go inside before the ocean comes to Dunshield. Homecoming. Converse with your relatives and search the house for useful objects. Objects are divided into two categories, items of evidence and weapons. You will only be allowed to pick up 2 objects from around the house before dinner commences, so choose wisely. After dinner, you will have the chance to plant an item of evidence if you wish, and then commit the murder. There are many ways to do the deed, but only the cunning will succeed. Good afternoon, Mr. Aaron. May I take your coat? Oh, of course. Yes, take this blasted wet thing off me. You're new, aren't you? Sophia's my name. I recognize you from your pictures, Mr. Aaron. I'm not new, exactly. I've been employed by your family for almost a year. It's just that you've never visited before. I shouldn't try to get offended right now, because the last thing I want is for her to kinda flip on me. And someone is apparently drift racing outside my house. Yeah, I gotta play this innocent. Well, my work keeps me very busy, unfortunately. I understand. I've been away from my family a lot since I started this job. You are here now, and I'm sure you're eager to meet with the others. Your father is in the library, on your left, and your mother is in the parlor, which is on your right. Your sister is upstairs in her room, I think. Should I flirt? And what if I want to join you for some motorcycles going past the house? And what if I want to join you for some pleasant company? Oh, I will be in the kitchen preparing dinner. I'll sound the bell when dinner is served. Alright. You recall this old grandfather clock very well from your childhood. You believe that if it were ever to stop ticking, time itself might stop moving. This old stone fireplace has nothing to interest you. This wooden side table is currently empty. Okay, this looks like some evidence. An assortment of family records and heirlooms are contained within this ornate glass cabinet. What? I don't know. Of course you do. Use that head for once, boy. Great Uncle Thomas. What initials do you see on that silverware? C.B.? And what kind of half-wit spells Thomas with a C? I don't know. Well, I do. It's the kind of half-wit that's standing next to me. Now, which of your ancestors owned that silver chalice? If you get this one wrong, there will be serious consequences, boy. I'll say one thing for my father. His style of parenting has always been consistent. There's nothing on this old lectern. None of these books interest you. So we need to actually find a couple of things I can use as evidence. This is the groundskeeper's cupboard. George seems to have left it open. Among the various household tools, we spot a thick length of rope. Strangulation is certainly a tried and tested method of murder. You know what? I'm gonna come back to it. If I can find something that's a little easier to hide, they'll go with it. This dusty old wine cellar is where your father likes to practice billiards. The laundry room is next door, and beyond that, the servants' quarters. All is vanity. A generation goes and a generation comes, but the earth remains forever. No greater grief than to remember days of joy when misery is at hand. A billiards cue belonging to your father lies across the table. This could certainly serve as an unorthodox murder weapon. I'm gonna just leave that where it is, because that seems even harder to hide. You find nothing in these drawers but useless cleaning supplies. There's nothing in here but wet laundry. Okay. A broken mirror. A broken mirror sits upon the maid's desk. I accidentally shifted into the British accent for that one. A broken mirror sits on the maid's desk. Odds are that it belongs to your sister, and the maid has been hiding it here after accidentally breaking it. A shard of glass from the mirror would be a poetic murder weapon. Oh, this would actually be pretty good, because, you know, sharp, easy to hide, and the maid had the mirror, so I'd be setting her up. Are you sure you want to take the broken glass? Remember, you can only pick up 2 objects. I honestly think this might be the best option I get, because it's got a bit of framing, and it's a useful murder weapon. You take the sharpest piece of broken glass and hide it on your person for later. Okay, so this actually kind of gives me a bit of direction. If I'm using this, I have to frame the maid. This is walking into the pantry, you begin to salivate at the promising scent of roast beef coming from the kitchen beyond. Ooh. You find nothing interesting in the drawers. On top of the cabinet, however, you see a blue box marked rat poison. Damn it, I think this one could get out of hand. It's probably not as safe as I'm thinking it is. Son of a bitch, it's a knife. Seems the maid has left a sharp kitchen knife unattended. How foolish of her. I'm gonna leave that where it is. I want to find something to frame her with. You don't think you'll be needing any bread? No. But if I get some crumbs, I can leave that at the crime scene. And the maid is framed. Oh, hello, Mr. Aaron. Is there something I can do for you? Actually, I wanted to ask you something about working for my family. Oh? Alright, I wonder how I want to play this. I want to actually kind of get some sort of a motive to try and frame her, but I worry if... I'm not sure if this would be playing it a little too hard. It can't be easy working for someone as mentally unstable as my little sister. Miss Jennifer can be unpredictable at times, almost as unpredictable as the emails that I get while I'm in the middle of recording. However, not as unpredictable as the train going past the house right now. But that only makes the day more interesting. She hasn't done anyone harm lately, then? Only herself, I think. Since I arrived, she seems to do nothing but sit at her writing desk in the drawing room all day. Apparently that wasn't the case before. I certainly hope I haven't done anything to cause it. I'm sorry, I must get back to work now. I will ring the bell when dinner is ready. Oh, please don't touch that. I'm still not going to be able to touch that, am I? So, I gotta talk to more people. I see you made it, Aaron. Forgive me if I don't stand. Your mere presence has almost given me a heart attack. Hello, Mother. Please, sit down if you want to talk properly, Aaron. I don't want to crane my neck looking up at you. What a bitch. So, Aaron, you finally managed to make it up here for a visit. Please tell me you aren't here just to cause trouble. No, Mother, I'm not here to cause trouble. Quite the opposite. Oh? Our family has been dysfunctional for a long time, and I have to take some responsibility for that. For what it's worth, I apologize for any stress that my behavior has caused you over the years. I see. You'll forgive me if I'm a little skeptical about this sudden change in your attitude, Aaron. However, if we can get through today without any drama, then I would appreciate it. Have you been up to see your sister yet? She has been going through an unusually difficult time recently. Gotta keep playing it. You sound worried. Do you think it's serious? I've not seen her this bad in a long time. Do you remember that summer when she... with the razor in the bathroom? Yes, I remember. That was the last time I remember seeing her like this. So yes, to answer your question, I am worried. Anyway, you should go and talk to your father if you haven't already. Wish him a happy birthday. Oh, and at least try to sound like you mean it. Most beloved of all your mother's possessions, her rusty old gramophone used to play all of her favorite records. Even now, the familiar, musty smell of your father's library fills you with dread as you step inside. You have too many bad memories of this room. Your father's best friend, a hunting dog named Beastie. The dog looks at you for a moment, then walks away when it realizes you have no food. Hello, Father. Your father remains silent for several moments, and a chill seems to pass through the library. When he finally speaks, it is in a quiet and bitter tone. You told me you'd never enter this house again, boy. Why are you here? Let's see, he's not gonna buy this. This is true. This might cause trouble, and possibly get in the way. If I mention this, though, he might immediately assume I did anything. I think I gotta play this, just to play it safe. It's obvious why I'm here. I want to put all that unpleasantness behind us. Wish you a happy 50th birthday. Happy? You honestly think this is a happy day for me? Another day when I can watch my life's work crumble into nothing. Another day to see our bloodline slit his own throat. You know how to make me happy. Move back to Dunshield. Take your proper place. And do your damn duty. God damn it. See, it's kind of, this is him offering me what I want. Can I actually get through this without killing anyone? I need to... I can't talk about his abuse because that would just derail things. I gotta try this. You know, I want to see what happens if I pick this. If I were to move back to Dunshield, I would have certain expectations. Oh, and what expectations would those be? Firstly, I refuse to suffer your daily insults. You will need to learn to be more decent towards me. Secondly, I want my sister to be put into care where she belongs. I cannot live with her insanity for another day. You would like that, wouldn't you, you obnoxious little shit? Selling out your own blood. Those are my terms. How you know what you can do with your terms. The nerve of you. You're the same snot-nosed brat you always were. Obviously, I didn't give you enough discipline as a child. I can see you are determined to be impossible. I think we had better end this discussion now. You are the impossible one, boy, as always. But I think you're probably right about one thing. This conversation is pointless, and now it's over. Get out of here. What is this? This is a hefty tome of Bruce family history. You feel sleepy just looking at it. So basically, everyone in this house right now is an asshole except for the maid and the butler. Her parents' room has not changed in years. It remains a frozen time capsule of a childhood you would sooner forget. Ooh. See, something just occurred to me. What if I don't kill her? What if she kills her? You enter the surreal atmosphere of your sister's room. Mirrors of various sizes cover the walls, creating the eerie illusion of a crowded space. Aha, I thought I smelled a rat. Have you come to see me, little rat? There's no need to call me a rat. You know my name. Yes, I remember now. Your name is Rat. Ratty rat rat. You used to have a pet rat, didn't you? Remember what I did to him? Oh, how he squeaked. Such great pain for such a little creature. What did you want to talk to me about, little rat? Mother says your condition has been getting worse. My condition? What condition? I don't have a condition. You want to have me sent away, don't you? Well, it won't work. It won't, I tell you. Go away. I don't want to speak to you anymore. Your sister has gone back to studying her own reflection in the mirror, completely oblivious to anything else in the world. Okay. Kind of skipped through that, but that was about maybe taking her undergarments and using that as evidence. I don't actually know how I would use that as evidence. You step inside your former bedroom. Now a simple guest room. Most of your old furniture has vanished. Probably thrown on a bonfire, knowing your father. There is at least one item of yours remaining in your former room. Your old fencing sword. At least this is a weapon with which you are very well practiced. I can't use this. No, that's still the sword. This wardrobe is vacant and barren. Your bedside table has been emptied of whatever items you had left behind. Ah, the old bed. So many memories of long, sleepless nights spent wishing your entire family would disappear. Okay, so I have a murder weapon. Another of your mother's blasted plants. You go through the wardrobe but find nothing apart from clothes and your mother's excessive collection of jewelry. I don't know what I can actually use as evidence here. It is only once you slide the top drawer open that you remember that this is where your father keeps his shotgun. Shiny barrel almost seems to call out to you. Guns are certainly noisy but efficient weapons. Ooh, I know what I want to do. Okay. Again, a bell invites me. It's time to dinner, it seems. Dinner is served. So I need to frame the maid. Sophia, could you come here a moment? Yes, Mom. Pour me some more wine. Yes, ma'am. But, madam. What the hell is... But, madam, oh, what is it, George? I must protest. It has always been my duty to pour the wine at dinner. Oh, well, I don't want to cause any trouble. Nonsense, what does that matter, George? Stop being overly pedantic. But I... Are you going to let George get away with his disobedience, Mother? Of course not. You and I will have words after dinner, George. Yes, madam. Let your mother deal with it, will you? We don't need your interference. An interfering little rat, isn't he, Daddy? Yes, he is. Why can't you ever keep your mouth shut, boy? Careful, Father. There's no need to make a scene at dinner. I'll show you a scene. Get over here. Malcolm, please let's not permit his behavior to ruin dinner. Yes, I suppose you're right. You can count your lucky stars, boy. Sophia, could you come here, please? Yes, Miss Jennifer. I just want to say that was the loveliest meal I've ever tasted. I don't know how you do it, you cunning pixie. You are too kind, miss. Of course, I will have tea and cakes for you in the drawing room, as usual, after dinner. Oh, you are so good to me, you sweet thing. So very, very good to me. Ooh, this is actually working out already. Because they've already got a thing, and I was already planning on framing her. Ooh, this is gonna be good. How do I wanna play this though? One of these two. Really, you two? You don't need to broadcast your affection so obviously in public. I'm sorry, Mr. Aaron. I never... Shush, rat. Go crawl into a hole somewhere. That's quite enough of your silly jokes, Aaron. Anyway, let's not forget why we are here today. The hell was that motorcycle? To celebrate your father's birthday, such a very important occasion for us all. You are so dear to us, Malcolm. Happy birthday, Daddy. Indeed. Happy birthday, Father. Let's hope it will be one to remember. Doing the deed. Okay. See, I'm wondering if I played this right. Now's the time to quickly plant any items of evidence you have. To do so, simply enter the desired room and select the item in your inventory. When you're ready, enter the drawing room to do the deed. Oh no, hopefully he doesn't say he saw me go down here. Items. There. You don't particularly relish the thought of carrying these around in your pocket, but needs must. Do you want to plant this item of evidence in this room? Yes. You decide to conceal this item underneath the maid's pillow. That ought to be quite incriminating. Alright. And that's already got the rest of the mirror. This is gonna look like an open and shut case. That's not the drawing room. Here we go. Where is she? Oh no, this isn't the drawing room. I assumed it was the drawing room because it was where she was. No, it's here. Are you sure you want to enter the drawing room? Once inside, there is no turning back. Yeah. You see Jennifer staring out of the window ahead of you, lost in one of her strange moods. She hasn't noticed you enter the drawing room. Now is the time. Choose the murder weapon. Your sister cries out in surprise as you grab her from behind and quickly muffle those cries with one hand before pressing the shard of broken glass against her throat. She struggles valiantly as you cut her throat open. but you manage to hold her in place until finally she goes limp. You drop her lifeless body to the ground, along with the broken glass. It's time to leave this room before your deed is discovered. Okay. You can't go that way. You're the maid. Damn it, she's gonna see me. Did you hear that, Mr. Aaron? Oh no, she saw me. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Inspector Winston Lewis. I understand that this is a difficult time for your family. You're damn right it is. I want to know what you're doing wasting time in here while my daughter's killer is still out there. Well, Mr. Bruce, we have found no evidence of forced entry. Nobody was seen entering or leaving the house. It would seem entirely possible, then, that the killer is in this room. What? No. That seems highly unlikely, Inspector. Perhaps it is. However, in order to follow protocol, I will have to interview each of you in turn. Mrs. Bruce, would you like to meet me in the library first? I suppose so. The interview. Thank you for joining me in here, Mr. Bruce. I'm sure this won't take long. Before we begin, I will need to search your person. Best to get these formalities out of the way. Is this really necessary? I'm afraid so. Turn around, please. Well, now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the interview. I hope I played this right. As you know, I've already spoken to everyone else who was present in the house at the time of your sister's death. We've also now completed our initial search of the house, but we'll get to that later. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? First of all, we will run through all of your activities since your arrival. The maid says that you and the butler arrived shortly after 7 o'clock, and she greeted you at the door. The maid says that you made a rather inappropriate remark of a sexual nature towards her. This leads me to question your character, I'm afraid. Crap. Oh, it was intended purely as a light-hearted joke. In retrospect, it may have been inappropriate. Oh yes, it is entirely possible to misjudge these situations, isn't it? Later, you went to speak to the maid again, which is curious. Why did you decide to visit the kitchen? Alright, this one is actually consistent. Well, I had some concerns about the way she was being treated. My family can be hard on the new staff sometimes. Well, that seems like a good reason. She said that you spoke about your sister and her deteriorating mental state. Ooh, I can see this. And it's not wrong. Because the mother actually said this. I was aware that my sister's condition had deteriorated since the new maid arrived. I felt I should investigate the subject. So the maid seems to have had a negative impact on your sister's mental health somehow? I'll take note of that. Later on, you had a conversation with your mother, Gloria, in the parlor. She told me that you were unusually cordial. Something about wanting to apologize and make amends. Well, see, I was kind of approaching everyone being really friendly. Yes, I wanted to clear the air between myself and my family. Oh, I see. Do you think it is slightly suspicious that you suddenly wanted to reconcile after all this time? No, I don't think so. Very well then. She says you spoke briefly about your sister. Apparently you seemed quite concerned about her well-being. My mother and I were concerned that my sister might try to take her own life, as she had attempted once before. She had she? I'll take a note of that. You went to see your father in not the basement, in the library. I understand your conversation became quite heated. Well, my father has a very short fuse. Many of our conversations go that way. Would you say he has a violent temper? Absolutely. I see. That's good to know. You discussed the prospect of your moving back to Donchill. You said you were only moved back if your sister was placed into psychiatric care? Oh, I had her own best interests at heart. She belonged in care. Oh, you may be right, Mr. Bruce. This guy's just sounding like Alfred whenever he says that. However, you seem to be the only one who felt that way. Did you speak to your sister before dinner? Yes, I went to her room to see her. I see. And what did you discuss with her? And how do I play this? Was the subject of her illness? I think this would give me an option to say she was just so not with it. I think this is the best chance I have. Well, we spoke about a condition. I was aware she was going through a particularly difficult period. Did she seem distressed to you? Yes, you could say that. She was not in a good place, mentally speaking. Oh, I see. Let's move on to the events that took place during dinner. There was some trouble involving the butler, I gather. Apparently you were offended by his behavior. None of these are good for me. None of these are good. This one is going to make me look like an asshole. This one would call into doubt everything that I just said. This one is just so defensive, and it's corroborated. This one's the one that's probably the highest risk. This one, medium risk. This one is probably the least risk. I don't know how my family puts up with it. Servants should learn to keep their mouths shut and do as they're told. That seems rather unfeeling. I'll not apologize for having high expectations. I gather that your father rather lost his temper at one point. Oh, that was nothing out of the ordinary. Your father often loses his temper at dinner. My father loses his temper no matter where he is. I see. At one point, you made the accusation that the maid and your sister were in some sort of inappropriate relationship. Okay, this might actually be my big linchpin moment. Well, it seemed obvious enough to me. The way those two were carrying on, my parents were just oblivious to it. You believe your sister was in a lesbian relationship with a maid? Almost certainly. Interesting. Now I need to ascertain your location at the time of your sister's death. Where were you when you heard the maid scream? Ground floor. She saw me in the East Wing. But how do I play that? What option am I gonna actually have to play that? Gotta give it a shot. Hang on. One person saw me. And it was the person I'm framing. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure all these other rooms had someone in them. I think I gotta say it. I was in the dining room. Yes, the maid mentioned seeing you there. That does put you quite close to the scene of the murder, I'm afraid. As I said earlier, we have completed our initial search of the property. Search did not turn up any items which gave me cause to suspect anyone in particular. I am curious about the murder weapon. The broken glass seems to have come from one of your sister's mirrors. We found the rest of it in the maid's room. However, we can't rule out suicide, especially given your sister's mental condition and her obsession with mirrors. It is all very interesting. I will be completely honest with you now, Mr. Bruce. Your behavior this evening has given me cause for suspicion. Damn it. I should have gone to another room. Also, I must regard your father as a suspect, even though the evidence is far from conclusive. I also think the evidence surrounding the maid might be worth another look. Possibility of suicide must be considered, although I am personally unconvinced. Now, as for what happens next, I'm going to ask you to accompany me to the station for further questioning. Am I under arrest? Not currently, Mr. Bruce, unless you want it that way. Although I think I'll have some more further questions for your father later. I think another interview with the maid will be required also. It is possible that an inquest might return a verdict of suicide. We'll see. This is gonna be rough. You and your father were both taken in for questioning, and you did your best to convince them of your innocence and your father's guilt. However, the police soon discovered that you had an obvious motive to want your sister dead. From that moment on, you were the prime suspect. The trial was a long and difficult one. Finally, the jury found you guilty of the crime. God damn it. You were given a life sentencing for the murder of your sister and would be spending the rest of your life sleeping behind bars. In your dank little cell, there was nowhere to hide or to escape from the nightmares when they came. The deed itself had taken possession of your soul, and perhaps this was her final revenge. Come on. What did I do wrong? Okay, so I think the things that really screwed me up, I let the maid see me. Specifically, I let her see me in the dining room. I also kind of wonder if I feel like the father, I wonder if he was the right way to go. Oh man, now this game's got me questioning, like, how I could have played it. I don't know. I might actually want to play this game again. Alright, so I guess for now, that'll be it. Alright. I'm gonna go and frankly keep thinking about this. This was a cool game. And it was only $1. So that was the deed. I'm gonna post a link to the Steam page in the description. Seriously, for $1, you can probably afford to check it out. But me, I definitely will. Alright, I'm gonna get going. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And as always, keep enjoying the videos. And subscribe to help the channel and see more.